Welcome back, everybody. Today, we're going to be diving into this whole idea of preparedness.
No, yeah.
We're not talking just like, prepping for the zombie
Yeah,
apocalypse.
right.
We're talking about getting ready for any of the curveballs life throws our way. And,
Yeah.
our inspiration for this whole deep dive is a talk called There Was Bread
Okay.
by Bishop W. Christopher Waddell.
Interesting.
And it's so fascinating because he uses that story of Joseph in Egypt,
Right.
from the Bible,
Yeah.
to give us this fresh perspective
Yeah.
on how to navigate uncertainty, like in our modern world.
I love that he uses that story. It's so relevant even today.
Yes.
It's like he's saying, hey, all these things that we're worried about today, like
Right.
pandemics and the economy.
Climate change.
Yeah, climate change,
Yeah.
all that stuff. It's like, hey, people have been dealing with tough times
Forever.
forever. Yeah.
Since the beginning.
Exactly. And we can learn from how they handled it,
Yeah. And he really emphasizes right off the bat, this isn't about
Yeah.
becoming a doomsday prepper,
Yeah.
with a bunker full of beans.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
about building resilience.
Yes.
Both spiritually and practically.
I love that.
So most of us, we kind of know the story of Joseph in Egypt,
Right.
but let's kind of zoom in on what's really relevant for us, like today.
Okay. So just to refresh everybody's memory.
Yes.
You've got Joseph Pharaoh tell you.
Hmm.
He interprets Pharaoh's dream, right?
Right.
Warns of 7 good years followed by 7 bad years of famine.
Right.
Now imagine you're Pharaoh, right? You get this dream. You're probably thinking, is this real?
Yeah.
You know?
It's just a nightmare.
Yeah.
They had too much to eat last night.
Exactly. But he didn't. He took action.
He took action.
And that's the key.
Yes.
They stored grain like crazy, which ultimately saved them.
Yeah.
Knowing wasn't enough. They had to do something.
Right. It's like having that escape plan
Right.
for a fire drill,
Exactly.
but never practicing it.
And
And then when the alarm goes off, you're like, oh, wait,
where's the door?
which way do I go?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But Bishop Waddell takes it a step further.
Okay.
He connects it to those moments in life when we get thrown a curveball,
Right.
maybe not, full-on famine level,
Right.
but still something that's disruptive,
Yeah.
Like, think about when the pandemic hit.
Oh, yeah.
Or if you suddenly lose your job.
Right.
It's that feeling of what now?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, you feel lost, don't you?
You're so totally lost.
Yeah, and that's where he brings in this idea of preparing in wisdom and order.
Oh, I love that quote.
Yeah, it's a quote from the talk.
Yeah.
And it really resonated with me because, let's face it,
Yeah.
prepping for everything can be overwhelming.
It can be paralyzing.
Yeah,
Like, it makes
absolutely.
you just want to,
Just want to hide.
hide under the covers.
Exactly. Yeah.
So in wisdom and order,
Okay.
what does that actually look like?
Yeah, what does that mean? In our day-to-day lives.
Think of it like building a house.
Okay.
You don't start with the roof.
Right.
You lay a strong foundation.
Brick by brick.
Yeah, brick by brick, exactly. And he even quotes President Nelson,
Oh, wow.
reminding us, the Lord loves effort,
Oh, that's good.
right? It's not about instant perfection. It's about consistent progress.
I love that because it makes it so much more doable,
Right.
instead of this huge,
Exactly.
overwhelming project.
Manageable.
Yeah.
You can do little things.
It's like, okay,
Yeah.
what's one thing I can do today
Right.
to move in the right direction?
You've got it.
Yeah.
You've hit the nail on the head.
You know,
It's about asking ourselves, therefore what?
okay.
What's the takeaway from this ancient story?
Right.
This wisdom from Bishop Waddell?
Yeah,
How do we translate it into action?
that's the million-dollar question,
It is.
right?
Yeah.
We could spend all day talking about it,
Right.
but what are those steps, those tangible steps we can take?
Exactly. And he gets into that
Okay, good.
in this talk.
So let's hear it.
Starting with the importance of a spiritual foundation.
Okay, so it's not just about, stockpiling stuff.
It's not just about the stuff.
It's about something deeper.
It's about aligning ourselves with divine principles.
Okay, I like that.
It's about having faith in Jesus Christ
Yes.
and relying on his grace.
I love that he ties that in.
Yeah.
It's those small and simple things
Yeah.
that, done consistently, create a ripple effect.
I love how he emphasizes that connection
Yeah,
between the spiritual and the practical.
exactly.
And he even ties it to that concept of grace.
Yeah, it's not all on us.
Yeah.
We do our part, but then there's that divine boost,
Right.
that enabling power that helps us do more than we could on our own.
It's like a partnership.
It is a partnership.
Right.
Okay.
We're not just, sitting back waiting for miracles to happen.
Right. We got to show up and do the work.
And do the work.
But then we acknowledge that we need that extra help.
We need his help
Yeah.
to really make it happen.
Yeah.
And to get specific, he lays out 2 key elements of temporal preparedness.
Okay. Let's hear it.
Managing finances
Okay.
and building home storage.
All right. So those are like the nuts and bolts.
The nuts and bolts, yeah.
Okay. So first up, let's unpack managing finances.
Okay.
Like a lot of people get intimidated
Oh, yeah.
by this topic.
It's scary.
Where does he suggest we even begin?
Well, he starts with the foundation,
Okay.
paying tithes and offerings.
Okay. Now, some people might be thinking,
Yeah.
wait a minute, that's a spiritual principle.
Right.
What does that have to do with my bank account?
Right. How does that help me pay the bills?
Right.
But he argues that it's about putting the Lord first
Okay.
in our finances,
Yeah.
which then opens the door to his blessings.
It's like acknowledging that, ultimately everything we have comes from him.
Exactly.
It's an act of faith,
It is.
but it's also practical.
Impractical. Yeah.
It's putting our actions where our beliefs are.
Aligning ourselves. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But tithing is just the starting point, right?
It's just the beginning.
Yeah.
He then goes into avoiding and eliminating debt.
Okay.
This is huge
Oh, yeah.
because debt can be such a drain
It can be.
financially and emotionally.
Oh, totally.
It can really weigh you down.
Yeah.
And he talks about it being a roadblock to true self-reliance.
It's like you're constantly running
Yeah.
on a treadmill just to stay in the same place.
Just to stay afloat.
Yeah, it's exhausting.
It is.
So getting out of debt,
Yeah.
or even better yet, avoiding it,
Right.
frees up
Frees you up.
so much energy
Yeah.
to build a more secure future.
Absolutely. And to help us achieve that,
Yeah.
he recommends creating and living within a budget.
Okay. I know.
I know what you're thinking.
It sounds a little,
worrying.
a little boring.
Yeah, but think of it like a roadmap
Okay.
for your money.
Okay.
It helps you track where it's going, make conscious choices,
Right.
and avoid those impulse buys
Yes. Those impulse buys.
that can just derail you.
Yeah, completely.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
about being intentional
Intentional.
with our finances.
Make it work for you.
Make it work for us.
Yeah.
Not against us.
Not against you. Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. And finally, he emphasizes saving.
Saving.
Is the future.
That's a big one.
That's a big one.
Yeah.
Whether it's for emergencies,
Right.
retirement,
Yeah.
long-term goals.
Exactly.
It's about building that cushion
Yeah. That cushion.
that helps you.
That safety net.
Yeah, that safety net to
Yeah.
navigate those unexpected challenges
Exactly.
or even pursue opportunities.
Or pursue those dreams.
Yeah, it's not just about
Surviving. It's about
it's about thriving.
thriving. Yes.
Wow.
Okay, so we've covered managing finances.
Okay.
Let's move on to the other biggie.
It's home storage.
Yeah.
Now this one can feel
Overwhelming.
a little overwhelming.
Yeah.
So where do we even start?
He really emphasizes that building home storage is gradual.
Okay.
It's a process. It's not about running out and buying a year's worth of everything
Right.
all at once.
Yeah, that's intimidating.
It is.
Yeah.
It's about consistently adding to your supplies over time.
Okay, so it's more of a marathon,
It's a marathon.
not a sprint.
Not a sprint exactly.
Yeah.
Small, consistent efforts that eventually add up.
Yeah. So what kind of things does he recommend?
Yeah, what are we storing?
Storing specifically.
He starts with the basics.
Okay.
Food, water, and essential items you'd need in an emergency.
Okay, so think about what you use
Yeah,
every day.
everyday things.
Yeah.
And start there.
Okay.
He doesn't give a specific checklist.
Right, because everyone's different.
Everyone's different.
Yeah.
If you have dietary restrictions
Right.
or allergies
Or babe.
or a baby,
You've got to think about those things.
you got to think about your own needs.
Yeah, that's a really important point.
It is.
It's not about blindly following some generic list.
It's about you.
It's about us.
Yeah.
Figuring out what works for our families.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he also stresses making your storage accessible.
Okay.
He actually says the home is the best storehouse.
Oh, interesting.
Meaning it should be readily available.
Right there when you need it.
When you need it.
Yeah, not tucked away in some
Yeah, not
Ex-
storage unit.
storage unit miles away.
Right.
Yeah.
That makes sense. It's got to be practical.
Practical. Yeah.
If you need something,
You need it now.
you need it now.
Yeah.
You don't want to be, driving across town
Right.
to get it.
Yeah.
But it's more than just,
There's a deeper principle at play.
yes. What's that deeper principle?
He quotes Elder Bednar, who says, taking action is the exercise of faith.
I love that quote.
Right.
So it's not just about gathering stuff. It's about aligning our actions
Yeah.
with our beliefs.
It's about showing
It's about showing
that we trust
that you trust
in the Lord's plan.
in the Lord's plan, yeah,
Yeah.
by preparing.
Yeah, I love how he connects that back to faith.
Yeah.
It's not just checklists and supplies.
It's deeper.
It's about really living what we believe.
Exactly.
Okay, so if we were to kind of sum up
Yeah.
this whole idea of preparedness,
Yeah.
what's that one key takeaway?
It's about making a conscious decision
Okay.
to start building greater resilience in your life,
Yeah.
both financially and temporally.
Okay.
It's about recognizing that preparedness isn't just about surviving.
It's about thriving.
It's about thriving, yeah.
It's about creating that foundation
Yes, that foundation.
of security.
The security and stability.
Yes.
That allows us to face those challenges.
With confidence.
With confidence and peace.
Yeah, and it all starts with that first step.
That first
That
step.
decision to move from knowing to doing.
You got it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Awesome.
Yeah. It's amazing, though, how Bishop Waddell reminds us, we don't have to do it all alone.
Right.
We have help. We've got divine guidance,
Yeah.
resources from the church.
Yeah.
We've got a community.
By each other.
We've got each other, exactly.
And I think that's so important, to remember that.
Right.
That we're in this together.
Yeah.
We can learn from each other.
Bounce ideas off of each other.
Yeah, bounce ideas, share ideas.
Exactly.
Encourage each other.
Yeah.
Along the way.
Yeah. It makes it less scary
It does.
when you know you've got support.
Yeah, and I think sometimes people hesitate to even, start thinking about preparedness
Oh, yeah.
because they think it means,
Yeah.
giving up everything,
Sacrifices.
sacrificing everything,
Yeah.
for some distant
What if?
what if.
Yeah.
And Bishop Waddell really addresses that.
He does.
Head on.
He says it's not about that at all.
Yeah.
It's not about living in fear or deprivation.
But it's about building a life of greater resilience.
I love that word resilience.
Yeah.
Where we can
Yeah.
weather those storms,
Isn't the story?
whether they're big or small.
Exactly.
Greater confidence and peace.
It's about feeling empowered,
Yeah.
not paralyzed.
It's like the difference between being caught in a rip current
Ooh,
and knowing how to swim out of it.
that's a good one.
Nah,
I like that analogy.
one is panic inducing.
Right.
And the other is like, okay, I got this.
I know what to do.
I know what to do.
I've been here before.
Yeah. And that kind of brings us back to
Yeah.
the heart of this whole deep dive,
Right back to Bishop Waddell.
Bishop Waddell's message.
And Joseph in Egypt.
Joseph in Egypt.
Yeah, remember his foresight?
Yes.
Saved a nation
It did.
from famine.
Because they didn't just,
They didn't just sit around.
and hope for the best.
Right, they did something about it.
They took action.
They took action. Yes. And it's a reminder that we can too.
We can too.
We can face those challenges
Yes.
with that same confidence.
With confidence.
When we heed wise counsel.
Right.
And we prepare
You got it.
both spiritually and temporally.
That's the key.
Yeah. And just like those, 7 years of plenty,
Right.
followed by 7 years of famine,
Yeah.
life has its own cycles.
It does. It ebbs and flows.
It ebbs and flows.
Yeah.
We might be in a good spot right now,
Right.
but that doesn't mean
But it's not going to last forever.
it's not going to last forever.
Yeah.
And we shouldn't get complacent.
That's when we need to prepare.
Right.
When things are good.
Yeah, it's during those times of abundance, when
Right.
things are relatively calm,
Yes.
that we have that opportunity to prepare.
Exactly. Build up those reserves.
Build those reserves.
Strengthen our foundations.
Strengthen our foundations.
Yeah.
Cultivate that spirit of resilience.
So that when those challenges do come,
Yeah.
we're ready.
We're ready.
Yeah, we can handle it.
So as we kind of wrap up this part
Yeah.
of our deep dive
Okay.
into There Was Bread,
Yeah.
what's one thing you hope our listeners
Oh, that's a good question.
will take away from this conversation?
I hope they feel empowered to take action.
Okay.
Maybe it's revisiting their budget,
Yeah.
adding a few extra items to their pantry,
Right.
or even just spending a few minutes thinking about,
Yeah.
how they can apply these principles in their own life.
In their own unique circumstances.
In their own unique circumstances, exactly, because everybody's different.
Everybody's different.
Yeah.
And remember, every effort counts.
Every effort counts.
It doesn't matter how small.
No matter how small, just do something.
Just do something.
Yeah.
And preparedness is a journey,
It's a journey,
not a destination.
not a destination.
It's about progress,
Not perfection.
not perfection.
Oh, it's a good one, yeah.
So no need to feel overwhelmed.
Don't get overwhelmed.
Start small.
Just start
Be consistent.
one step at a time.
One step at a time.
Yeah.
And trust that the Lord
He'll help.
will magnify our efforts
Yeah.
as we strive to follow his counsel.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He's there for us.
It's so inspiring to hear how these principles, when, you apply them with faith and consistency,
Yeah.
can really transform our lives.
It's amazing.
It really is. But I think it's also important to address like this misconception that people have
Okay.
that preparedness is all about doom and gloom.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Like we need to be hunkered down in a bunker,
Right, waiting for the world to end.
waiting for the world to end.
Stockpiling weapons.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, he addresses that.
Yeah. He's like, no, no, no.
It's not about that.
This is not what we're talking about.
This is not about living in fear.
Yeah.
It's about building a life of greater resilience.
I love that word.
Yeah.
Where we can weather those storms,
Whether this
big or small,
big or small, it doesn't matter.
with greater confidence
Yes.
and peace.
It's about feeling empowered,
Yeah.
not paralyzed.
It's like that difference between being caught in a rip current
Oh.
and knowing how to swim out of it.
I love that analogy.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
One is panic-inducing,
Right.
and the other's like, okay, I got
I've
this.
been here before. I know what to do.
I know what to do.
Yeah.
And that brings us back to,
Yeah.
the heart of this whole deep
The
dive.
circle.
Full circle, yeah.
Back to Bishop Waddell.
Bishop Waddell's message
To Joseph.
in Egypt.
Joseph's foresight saved a nation.
It did.
Their famine.
They did something about it.
They took action.
They took action.
They didn't just hope for the best.
Right. They
No.
prepared.
It's a reminder that we can too.
We can too. We have that same power within us.
Yeah, we can face those challenges
Yes.
with confidence.
With confidence.
And we heed wise counsel.
We listen to those who know.
Yeah. And we prepare. And we take action.
We take action. Spiritually and temporally.
That's the key.
Yes, and just like those 7 years of plenty,
Right.
followed by 7 years of famine,
Yeah.
life has its own cycles.
It does.
You know,
Ebbs and flows.
It ebbs and flows.
Yeah.
We might be in a good spot right now,
You might be.
but it doesn't mean it's going to stay that way forever.
It's gonna change.
And we shouldn't get complacent.
We can't afford to.
No.
We gotta keep preparing.
It's during those times of abundance,
Yeah. When things are good.
when things are good,
That's the time to prepare.
that we should be preparing
Yeah.
for what might be coming.
Build those reserves.
Build those reserves.
Strengthen those foundations.
Yes. Cultivate that spirit of resilience.
Yeah, so that when things do get tough,
Yeah.
we're ready.
We're ready.
We can handle it.
We can handle it.
Yeah.
So as we wrap up this
As
deep
we
dive
into There Was Bread.
into There Was Bread, inspired by Bishop Waddell's talk.
Yeah, what an inspiring message.
It is. What a great talk.
What's the one thing you hope our listeners will take away
Oh, that's a good question.
from this conversation?
I hope they feel empowered
Yeah.
to take action.
To take action?
Yeah, maybe it's revisiting their budget,
Okay.
adding a few extra items to their pantry,
Okay.
or just taking a few minutes to reflect
Yeah.
on how they can apply these principles in their life.
In their unique circumstances.
In their unique circumstances, because everyone's different.
Everyone is
They
different.
all have different needs,
They do.
different situations.
Yeah, and remember,
Yeah.
every effort counts.
Every effort.
No
counts.
matter how small.
No matter how small.
Just do something.
Yeah, just start somewhere.
Yeah. And remember,
Yeah.
preparedness is a journey,
It's a journey,
not a destination.
not a destination.
It's about progress,
not perfection.
not perfection.
We're all a work in progress.
We are.
Yeah. So no need to feel overwhelmed.
Just start small,
Start small,
be consistent,
be consistent,
and trust the Lord.
trust the Lord.
He'll help you.
He will magnify our efforts
He will.
as we strive to follow his counsel.
Absolutely.
We hope you found this deep dive into There Was Bread
Yeah.
insightful and empowering.
It's been a great conversation.
It has.
I really enjoyed it.
Me too.
Learned a lot.
Yeah, and remember, you have the power to create a life of greater resilience.
You do.
And we're here to cheer you on
Every step of the way.
every step of the way.
Yeah.
Until next time.
Until next time.
Keep diving deep.
Keep learning. Keep growing.